Well, well, look who it is. Emile, it is you, isn't it? Are you feeling more talkative than when I saw you last?
Do not call me that.
Oh, look at you. From professor at the Officers' Academy to an Imperial General. Though you seem idle enough now, might you spare a moment for a proper apology? Could you not have even informed me when dear Mercedes left House Bartels? To say nothing of the scandal you caused. Granted, I can hardly blame you, that family being what it was. But did it never occur to you that I ought to have been consulted? We've only known each other since childhood. Such callousness, such rank insensitivity. Emile, are you listening? You think you can escape? I won't be denied this time. You may think yourself skilled with a blade, but remember that my spell work is peerless. Dealing with you would be no more than a murmured word and a flick of a finger.
Restrain yourself, Constance.
I am the model of restraint. On the contrary, Emile, it is you who insists on being so...
I said not to call me that.
You know I've not slipped from using General Jeritza in public, and this is the thanks I get. You've always been the sort to keep your own counsel and let others draw their own conclusions.
Would it kill you to be silent for once?
Emile, stop! This isn't over!
Hey.
Did you send for me, Emile?
Stop gossiping about me.
Gossiping? About you? Oh, you wound me, Emile. So what if your name falls from my lips now and then?
If you speak of my past, there will be consequences.
I am aware. I have been silent regarding you secretly being of House Bartels. No, when I speak of you, I bandy gentler truths, such as your fondness for kittens and ice cream. All the silly little details that make you seem human.
Those details are nobody's business but mine.
Oh, Emile, do you have any notion what the rank and file say about you?
No.
They use words like unapproachable, menacing, and inscrutable. Regardless of your skill with a blade, fighting a war as if it were a long series of duels will end in death. And that is why I do what I can to ingratiate you with the soldiers you lead. No thanks necessary.
I see you are still unhappy with me.
Whatever do you mean?
The battlefield is solitary in the end. I've no interest in camaraderie with soldiers.
Are you implying that in combat, you are an utterly matchless warrior? That you can vanquish any foe single-handedly? That you need no cohort supporting you? How perfectly presumptuous! Even I can admit my reliance upon others. While you fight, who stands beside you to gauge the tide of battle? Who eliminates the archers aiming for you? Who heals whatever injuries you might sustain? These are questions you should be asking yourself, Emile. I ask them for you because we are old friends.
Always quick to cut to the heart of the matter.
Just as you are ever an ache in my side.
Whatever. But there is a truth in your words. However, it is not up for discussion. Stop gossiping about me.
I shall consider it. I must thank you, Emile.
Why?
You came to my aid in that recent skirmish. I loathe being in anyone's debt, so I brought you something as thanks. How it warms my heart to see you taking my advice about learning to work with others.
I do not recall.
You don't recall working with others? Or you don't recall coming to my aid?
My memories from battle are always a blur. The creature that you saw is me, and is not me.
That sounds perfectly meaningless. And yet, I may know exactly what you mean. That aside, this should serve to balance the scales between us. Here.
This...
It's the same variety of flower you would give to me those many years ago. I found it at a florist in town. Though I suppose your memory of those days isn't as sharp as mine.
I remember this. I gave you a rose when Count Nouvelle brought you along on his visit to House Bartels. I used to tend to the roses with Mercedes and Mother in the garden.
So you do remember. The garden of House Bartels did tend to make an impression.
Mother and Mercedes were always so blissful when they spent time there.
You picked a rose and gave it to me, like the knights in the stories. Your story took a tragic turn. Time has had its way with you.
I thought the same upon seeing you.
Your sympathy is noted. Of the two of us, only I could be said to have aged gracefully.
That is not what I meant. We cannot go back in time. That was my meaning.
Do not be so hasty. Anything lost can be regained. The garden may be gone now, but that will change once I have rebuilt House Nouvelle. You'll see when you walk into the grand rose garden I shall have planted in the center of the estate. You'll come and see it, won't you, Emile?
You believe you are capable of that?
With you assisting me, it is practically guaranteed.
Is it now?
Some will undoubtedly take forceful issue with the restoration. That's where you come in. What a privilege I am granting you to play a part in the return of my noble house. A smile spreading across your face? Now that is a rare blossom indeed.
Only when in the company of a select few.